Okay, so hello, Angela. I hope everyone in the audience just enjoyed the panel. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our next youth presenter, Angela Busheska, who is the founder of Enroute and an engineering student. So, Angela is a 20-year-old Macedonian climate activist, and she is the founder of Enroute, an award winning nonprofit and app which helped over 60,000 people to live more sustainably. She represents North Macedonia in the UN Youth Climate Delegation, and at the end of the day, she is an engineering and computer science student at Lafayette College, exploring how to utilize tech for good. So please welcome Angela.
Thank you so much, Aminta, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you so much to STEM for giving me this opportunity to speak today and to represent a little part of our story and how to live more sustainably through our day to day basis. So, as previously mentioned, my name is Angela and I'm coming originally from North Macedonia. So, you're wondering where on earth is that? No worries, I will explain everything around that. Just first fact you have to know is that in North Macedonia, the capital city is known as one of the most air polluted city in the world, which means that for 6 months, basically, you're not able to see what's behind and ahead of you. The smoke is so thick, basically, you're not able to breathe. That was my situation for around 17 years. I was going out just blaming the government that nobody is taking any proper action and paying on day by day. Well, that has changed around 3 years ago. I finally had the opportunity to move from my school dorm to live together with my aunt. School dorms are kind of boring, and living with my aunt was the perfect opportunity that I could have. 3 days after I've moved in, my aunt, who had some cardiovascular difficulties, eventually passed away. That was the 360 degrees change of moment for myself and a realization of how this air pollution is not just something out there. It is something more greater that affects our own lives, something that affects our own future, that gets the people that we know. For 3 days, I took all-nighters, left everything that I was doing at that moment, and tried to research like who is causing this air pollution and why is taking it so long. I thought to see fossil fuels, big industries, the big names. What I saw through that research that was from 3 days to 3 months, then to 6 months, was actually that air pollution was coming from us, Skopje citizens, and our perfect inaction. We were the ones who were doing transport wrong, fashion wrong, and landfills wrong. Hence, the transport of fashion and the landfills were the primary causes why the air pollution took place. So, being the curious myself, I just went out in the good old times before COVID, asking people around, look, this is taking serious damage. Why you're not taking proper action? And everyone was like, look, I know this is very horrible to us, but I don't have enough money or enough time, enough energy, or all excuses you could think of to live sustainably. That was really a strong point for myself. And I just thought that people really want to take proper action, just they don't have the knowledge and the utilities to do so. So in March 2020, when the pandemic hit, I was a high school senior that was locked inside doors, and I was thinking about what shall I do now? Everything I have planned of my climate change organization was just to talk and speak to people. But now all we could do was just wear this, a simple mask that was saving us from a global pandemic. That was the realization and my hypothesis that they put on. So, if a simple mask, a piece of clothing, can save us from a pandemic, which is one of the greatest challenges of today's world, why cannot something simple do the same for climate change? Like something that will help us reduce our CO2 emissions and just live sustainably day by day. At that moment, actually, I started the creation of Enroute. Enroute is an application that helps people to reduce their CO2 emission from their day to day activities. But the most important part at the moment when I was starting, I had no idea how to code. But simply because my will was stronger than any excuse I could think of, I started the journey. I had thousands of ideas of what to put in the application of how I want to do it. So I started digging out and trying to research first how to tackle the transport. I know people won't bike everywhere, it's impossible. I know people won't travel by all the other things. Sometimes you have only the car, sometimes you have only the bus, and that's okay if you use them properly. So what I did is actually try to communicate with people how they can merge all of the activities that they're doing in your day. You have to go to school, great. You have to buy groceries. So what you do most of the time is just go to school, go to work, then come back home, then go get groceries, then come back home. So you're making trips over back and forth. First, that's bad for your time, losing time on the road. Second, that's bad for your wallet because you're losing money for petrol or public transportation. And it's really worse for the planet because every car trip can emit over 60 kilograms of CO2 emissions. That's why Enroute and our team, we have decided to create what if you just enter your daily activities and we help you to create the perfect schedule. Not the ones where you will be going by bike everywhere, but the one that you can merge your activities in the most sustainable way, according to your preferences, your budget, even cheaper, and according to planet's wishes. This was the first feature that we have designed and is now available to use. We have even found that a person on average with this feature saves around 10 kilograms of CO2 emissions. And if you do that every day for a year, you will actually offset a carbon neutral of equivalent of a one plane that goes from North Macedonia, which is in the midst of Europe, over to the US, which is fantastic if every single person was doing that. That is our mission. Second part is the fast fashion. So now you just say, like, how fashion can relate to the CO2 emissions? Why? I'm just going and shopping there. I'm not doing anything. Right. You're going and shopping there. Maybe you're not causing anything. Do you have an idea of how is this piece of clothing produced? Well, I didn't. But researching and digging deeply, it turns out that to get that piece of clothing in your hand, it has to cover through thousands of places across this world. First and foremost, they're having rigorous conditions for their employees, which are in the most poor countries around the world. Second, it causes damaging things to the environment, to the water, to the ocean, and to all its constituent parts. Just so you know, I had a person telling me lately that they don't travel because they're environmentally friendly. However, they shop from Zara every single week, which means that your clothes are traveling for you and making more damage than you going across this world. Yes, that is the harsh truth. And I'm not saying no, don't buy clothes. If that is an impossible way to live. But what we can do is just, first and foremost, try to shop from ethical clothing stores or rather from thrift stores. Today, I'm actually dressed up in an outfit from the thrift store around the corner in my school, and I think it looks perfectly nice, which means zero carbon emissions. If you cannot find a thrift store or an ethical store, however, when you're about to shop something at a store, just think about how many times you would wear this. Is it more than 30? If it isn't more than 30, I wouldn't buy it because your wallet and planet Earth will also be thankful for that. So, going on to our research and our application of Enroute, what we have actually done is, as I say, opening the eyes. Speaking with a lot of people, most of them they didn't even know at first place how fast fashion is damaging to our planet. So what we have done is actually analyze a lot of companies according to their effect on multiple things, such as the fashion, how they treat women, how they treat land, how they treat the ocean, so that when you invest your cents, you know what you're investing in. Think of it as an elections. You know, when you vote for your representative, governor, or president, you want to read what the person will do for your country or your city. Same is for the company. The more you support companies who will do better, we are fighting climate change with every single cent. And don't ever forget that. And when you say that you're actually kind of smaller and you cannot make that change if you don't buy this t shirt today, think about if all of us just abandon fast fashion. You're not small. You can make this proper change today with just making a small switch, or as I said, buying ethical or thrift stores. So, looking at all of these things, the third part that we have tackled with Enroute is how you behave at home. And I know it's daunting. I know we all had our parents saying, turn off the electricity lights when you're going out of your door. Right? The electricity bills will be thankful. But also, it turns out that that is one of the greatest way how households actually use electricity that they don't need and create CO2 emissions, which furthermore increase their carbon footprint. So tackling all these things with our application For less than 18 months, we have managed to help people reduce over 100,000 kilograms of CO2 emissions. We have not saved the world. We have many CO2 emissions that we have to reduce and the temperature of 1.5 degrees that we have to tackle. But we have made an incredible number just by tiny little details that people don't even pay attention to. And if you want to ask, how much money have users spent to save these CO2 emissions? Let me tell you, they not only spend $0 to save these CO2 emissions, but they gain a lot more because they were reducing on fashion, reducing on home bills, and reducing on transport. So those are the actions that you as individual can help to take, and those are the actions that we at Enroute were implemented. In our booth in this conference, you're able to check our website that people can use the application and see all of the opportunities you can take. Thank you so much, Stem, for giving me this opportunity to represent the voice of Enroute, and I'm looking for any questions.
Thank you, Angela, for the very passionate and very inspiring talk. And Enroute sounds very useful, and I will definitely check it out after this research conference. And I'm sure our audience will too. So, if anyone has any questions for Angela, please drop them in the chat. And don't forget to share your appreciation for her as well. So, the first question that we have you experienced any challenges in founding Enroute? And if so, how did you overcome them?
Absolutely. So being a yet founder in this era of like a lot of tech founders, and especially being a female youth founder, it is extremely difficult in many places. First of all, people don't trust you that you want to make a good change. And when you're entering rooms, they're saying, what you as a young person know about climate change? But all of these doubts that they pose you are just an opportunity for you to rise up. When they say, what do you know? You just have the mic and say, here's what I know. I am not an expert. I am just a high school, university, whatever you are. But together we can make this. Even Greta Thunberg, which is the famous climate change star and my idol, always says, don't listen to me, listen to the scientists. I'm here just to convey their voice. We don't have the opportunity to wait for us to become PhDs and experts to act, because if we wait up, the planet won't exist till then.
Thank you very much, Angela. So, if you're curious about more on Angela's project, you can head over to the expo area and have a look at her amazing work over there. And I definitely encourage you to take a look. So, thank you very much again, Angela. And now we're going to have a short break, and we'll be back here at the stage at 4:40 p.m. BST, which is around 13 minutes from now, and we've got much more amazing sessions to come. So for now, feel free to head over to the expo area.